Hi everyone, this is Rolling Through Life. I'm Wanda, and today what I'm going to do is make a new wheelchair pouch for under my seat. Now I've had this for about 6 or 7 years and it's served its purpose. The stitching is still holding really well, but the thing is it's just nylon, and if I go through a puddle or something, everything in it gets wet, and yeah, it just does not function for me anymore. So what I want to do is make another one, but make it a little larger. Now this is 8 by 12. I'm thinking I want to make it like 10 by 14, just a little bit bigger, and add an inch so that way I can, square it off and it's a little wider down below. I'm going to reuse the Velcro because I believe this is like the industrial strength. You really have to pull it to get it apart. So I'm going to reuse these because they're in great condition. So yeah, I'm going to show you what I picked out for it. What you need to do is, this is pink duck cloth, and it's real strong. I'm going to do a French seam, which means I'll double sew it, and then that way it'll hold very well. But this is also, water will go through it. So what I've done is I picked up a yard of PUL fabric. Now this is stretchable a little bit, but this is what people make diaper covers and bibs and such out of. And it's waterproof, and this is going to be inside the pouch. So that way everything I have in there is safe and it will not get exposed to any kind of moisture. I have a zipper, and then I have this 100% cotton ribbing. It's I believe 1 inch thick, but this gets put on the back to give it some durability when I'm opening and shutting it, and it doesn't move so much. So this has to be sewn on. So what I'm going to have to do, my next step, is to cut a piece of fabric at approximately, I'm going to say 14 and a half, and this is 8, which we double it is 16, but I want it a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut it at 21, which will give me 10 plus an inch for the bottom when it's boxed off. So I am going to go over to my cutting area and get that all cut up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I went and cut my fabric. I went ahead and cut it at 21 by 15, taking seam allowances. So the first thing I want to do, I need to put this on the back. So by the time it's sewn, I think it takes about a ½ inch on each side. So let me run over here and get my scissors. And then this is just, a ballpark measure, just to give it some stability in the back. And then I'm going to singe the ends so it doesn't unravel. Okay. So what I need to do is figure out where I want to sew this. So I'm kind of thinking probably about there's where the zipper is going to be. So flip this over. And I want it about here. So what we need to do is make sure this is even on both sides. I have a little square ruler here. So, say at the bottom of this 3-inch mark looks good. So put a clip here. Come over here and do the same. Just adjust it the way you need it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to run this through the sewing machine and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have this installed, and now that I'm looking at it, I think I sewed just a little bit crooked, but that's okay. I mean, it's there for stability only. It's no big deal. So what I need to do now is insert the zipper, but we want to make sure we have our backing in there at the same time. So I am doing wrong sides together, that way this shows on the inside, and then I'm taking these clips that I have, because this plastic, this PUL fabric, I don't really want to put holes in it because that just makes it weaker. Sewing it's one thing, but you know, just sticking holes in it's just going to eventually just kind of rip or whatever. So I'm going to put pins all the way around to make sure it stays even while I'm sewing. It looks like I may have cut a little bit different, but we'll see. You know, this fabric pulls and moves a lot, so it could be possible my top is a little off, but we'll get there. Just kind of got to take your time to make sure everything lines up. Actually, I had to cut 2 pieces of the duct cloth, but actually this is really easy stuff to cut, but like I said, it does move, so I just took extra time to make sure it was right. So that looks even. I mean, it gives it room to move while the pouch is put together. So I want to do this side first. So let's remove our zipper out of the package. Remember, I cut my fabric at 15 wide. So this is a 20-inch zipper, which is fine. It can be cut at the end. I just have to make sure the beginning of it's. So let me see. All right. Trying to remember. So I want to flip it over to the right side and take it and go right side to wrong side of the zipper. Okay? Alright, bring it down a little bit. Just kind of, you know, kind of even right here. I have a little bit hanging over, but that's about a ½ inch what I want. And let's start pinning the zipper all the way across. Like I said, I'm going to have more than enough. Alright, so I'll be back after that side's done. Okay, we got this side sewn in. So what I need to do now is bring this side up probably do it inside out would be best. Alright. And then we need, yeah. And then we need to sew. Alright. Yeah, I'm a little confused here. Hold on. This is not by any kind of pattern, so I'm kind of like winging it. Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to sew it right here. Yeah. And then I'm going to sew it right here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the zipper installed, and I wanted to show you. I did a straight stitch, and then I did a zigzag, because the stuck cloth seems to want to fray pretty easy. So I figured an extra row of stitching would not hurt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a seam ripper and I'm going to take these out, and then I'll be right back because then I'm going to show you how I'm going to install them. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm probably going to have to do a top stitch here so it stays down, but for now I have decided probably want like an inch down the zipper, and then this, I got pink string everywhere, so I went, it was just too hard to cut out of there. I mean, they had it glued in and everything. So what I did is cut it out and then I ran a stitch over it. So these were placed right where the zipper is. So what I'm going to do, this goes on the inside, right here. Remember, I'm going to do a French seam on this, so right now I want to sew it with the right sides out. So I have that there. I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to put the other one in on the other side. Right now I don't want to cut this off, not until I've done some top stitching there. Or, you know, get it all finished. So that's where I want it. So what I'm going to do is sew this in first. That way they're secure. Okay? And then after that, I'm going to sew down this side and then this side. And after I get those two things done, I'll be right back. Okay, what I decided to do is go ahead and secure these before I did any more sewing, and that way I made sure this was straight across, and then I'm going to sew down the sides. So now, since we have this side secured, we can go ahead and cut off the zipper. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pull this up here and take some of my clips and make sure this doesn't move on me, because this PUL is pretty slippery. So down there at the bottom. Up here, and then one in the middle to make sure everything stays together. Alright, so I'm thinking a 1/4 of an inch, and then we can trim to do the last seam. So I'm going to go pretty slow with this to make sure I don't mess up, because we're nearing the end. this stuff unravels really easy. So I'm glad I decided to do a French seam on this, and this way it's going to be able to take a lot of pulling and tugging and, you know, be full. Now I use one of these instead of carrying a purse around because, well, and a lot of people in wheelchairs use backpacks too. Now I use tote bags and stuff for groceries or whatever, but I like to put my wallet, you know, personal papers that I have to carry at that moment, because honestly, people do not look towards the bottom of a wheelchair. They just don't do it. They do see backpacks, and they're so easy to keep up with someone to, you know, take from the backpack without the person in the wheelchair knowing. So I never did like that form of carrying anything. So I think this would be much safer. It is much safer, actually, because people don't see me carrying a purse or nothing, and they just think, well, you know, she don't have nothing. And plus, you know, if they try to get it from the front of my chair, I have more time to run over them, call for help, you know, many different things I can do to protect myself. So, and my first option would be to push forward on my joystick and run their butts over. So that's why I like these. So I'm going to finish this side, and then I'll come back when we're ready to finish it up. Okay, so I sewed both sides, and then I cut the seam probably in half. I got a little close here, but I'm not too concerned about it because we're going to be making another seam. So after you get that done, what we want to do is turn it inside out. Poke your corners out pretty good. And this way, this gives you a clear seam to where it's not going to unravel by, you know, the constant use. So make sure we get the top. And then these go inside the bag. Okay. And my sewing's a little crooked, but you know what? I'm not too worried about it. This is between time and stuff, it's about the same amount of money, but it's going to be waterproof. It's going to be more to my needs. Make sure you bring in your zipper a little bit, because you don't want your sewing machine to hit it. And then this is a lot of fabric, so when you go over the zipper and the Velcro, just take it really, really slow, because that is a lot of bulk for your machine to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another stitch, a 1/4 inch all the way down, and then we will only have one more step to go. Okay, we're almost finished. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a square bottom on this. So what I'm doing is measuring 1 inch over, 1 inch down, and putting a mark. Alright, so what you do then is take it, and this is my 1 inch right here, and then I'm going to just zip right across it on both sides. Okay, so I did this. This is a little crooked, but I ran out of bobbin. Honestly, I'm not too worried about that. So, and I was going to tack it down because I really don't want to cut it to ruin the security of it, you know. So I'm just going to leave it be. It's not really going to get into my way. So let's turn this inside out and see how well I did. Like I said, this is a first attempt, and I only need to make one of these every so many years. So I decided, you know, goof ups and all, that I would bring you guys along with me. And see, that's a little unfinished, but I don't know. I'm just not too worried about it. I thought I don't know, maybe I can go in and do this and it'll bring it all in, but I'm not too concerned about that. It doesn't bother me. But, you know, if you were doing it, you might want to, when we do the French seam, is just go ahead and do a few stitches here, and that way it would probably pull this all, and I may do that later, but for right now I'm tired and I don't care, honestly. Now, if I was making it for someone else, yes, I would care, but me, no. I may do that again at some point, but not right now. So, what did I do? Alright, let's get this out of the way. And now my zipper won't work. Oh boy. What did I do? Alright. Oh, there it goes. I usually don't open that up all the way anyhow, so I'll just know to stop it right there. But yeah, I'm not really happy with that. So I am going to do my best to do the French seam up here. It just that it's not as secure, and it doesn't look pleasant. So I guess I will be back after I figure that out. Okay, I went and took 1/4 inch in as best as I could. This is real thick, so it kind of went off a little bit, but that's okay. I think it's going to look better. So let's go ahead and turn this inside out, or right side out. I hope that fixed the problem. Yes, it looks much better. Much better. When you go through this, kind of hand crank your machine because it's going through a lot of fabric, and the slower you go, the better it seems to go. This is where I had to rip out some stitches, but you know, those will come out in time. That's no big deal. So let's go put this on the wheelchair and see how it functions. Okay, here it is on the wheelchair underneath. And let's see if it stores the way I want it to. Here's probably the biggest size book I'll use. Let's see if it goes in there. Alright. Goes in there great. And my wallet. And still got plenty of room in there. And this is going to keep everything nice and dry. That way I don't have to worry about on rainy days taking a book with me or not. If it starts raining, it's protected. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I may just go ahead and make these and try to put them on Etsy or something, but because what they charge out there for the quality you get out there, I can make it for the same price but better quality. So, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like these types of videos, go ahead and push that subscribe button. And I put out a video, you know, as often as I can. But I do all kinds of different things. So, everyone have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.